Hello everyone and welcome live here on the World Racing Network to tonight's broadcast of the National Sim Racing Association Beer Street Journal Grand National Series here live from the Darlington Speedway, if it would show it on the screen here tonight for the, let me pop up the logo here. We have tonight the Leather Repair Company 150 from Dover. While I sort out these technical difficulties I don't know why we're having tonight, I'm Mitchell Adams. Joining me in the booth as always is Tyler Belanger. And Tyler, Dover, I might have said Darlington at some point, but Dover is a tricky track, very unique. It's got a concrete surface, which we don't see very much. Just a different kind of beast, a monster, I guess you could say, for these drivers here tonight. Yes, you do, and qualifying is underway out on the racetrack. We'll wait for some times to trickle in as I am still working with iRacing here to try and get whatever issues I'm having sorted out here, because unfortunately, Tyler, no one at home can see what is going on track, and that's an issue I've never noticed before, so we're going to try and iron this one out. Yeah. Yeah, and we are finally back live here looking at Dover, and it is Matt Donnelly right now up on top of the speed chart here. There's Nate Maurer. He sits second, just finished his qualifying run. Here's the 49 of Bryce Hunter right now out, just finished actually, taking some practice laps as well. In practice, it was the winner of the last race, Trey Whitehead. We talked about this, Tyler. He came out to Talladega, got his first win of the season, really showed a lot of speed there. He was fastest in practice here tonight. Unfortunately for Whitehead, though, sits down in 12th in qualifying at the moment, so he'll have some ground to make up here when we go toward the race. I know out in chat, Triple Trey picked Martin Plute as tonight's race winner. Here's Martin out finishing qualifying second place for Martin Plute in qualifying, so Martin showing a lot of speed here as well. Yeah, Adam Pettit has certainly showed himself as one of the favorites this season here. He's just week in and week out, it seems like that 17 is up running toward the front of the field. Now, here's a name you all might not recognize if you've just started watching the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series this season here on the World Racing Network. It is driver of the 77, Drew Eisman. This is a very good race car driver, is Drew Eisman. He's definitely one we're going to keep our eye on here tonight, and we'll see what kind of qualifying speed he can put up on the board. Right now sits 18th, but this is a driver who I've raced with a couple of times in this series, included very fast, had some great battles with Drew, used to commentate on 3-wide TV, the NSRA Friday Night Truck Series. So he's someone very comfortable in this NSRA environment, knows his way around, and we'll see what kind of time Eisman puts up. Lap 2 goes to 16th on the chart, so he'll also have some room to make up, but man, it's a nice looking car the 77 has, as always.
It's going to be difficult to be one of these guys outside the top 10 though, because passing at this track is not easy. You get down low on somebody, and that corner, the exit, it really tightens up. You cannot get on the throttle when you're somebody like you can if you're just single file. And a lot of guys will think that they can get into it too early and slide up and put both cars in the outside wall coming out of turn 2 or 4. So track position is definitely going to be key here. Tires are always important at a track like this, but that track position that's going to be very, very key. So somebody like the 771 of Drew, it's going to be an uphill battle from the start tonight.
Yes, it is, and qualifying has just ended, and we are getting ready to roll into the gridding, and everything should be working now, folks, for all of you at home as well. I think we've ironed out. I had several issues going on, some I didn't even realize at first, but I think everything is good now. So that is good as we roll into the race here on, once again, Thursday night, the NSRA Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. This week it is the Leather Company 150 here, and we'll give you more information on them as the race goes on. All the sponsors, of course, are linked down in the video description, but I think it's time to run through tonight's starting grid, Tyler, as we're going to take a look here at the front of the field. It is Adam Pettit once again sitting on pole, definitely not a stranger to starting up front this season. Then it's Matt Donnelly in the 41 starting second. Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal machine starts in third. In fourth place is Martin Plute. In fifth is the 971 of Nate Maurer. Starting sixth is Ira Kohlhaas in the 29. Seventh is Doug Neal in that Simbox Motorsports 77. In 8th place is Josh Sobel in the 75. 9th is Bryce Hunter, and rounding out the top 10 is Justin White. And you want to take him through the rest of the field, Tyler?
Yeah, we got that Brock Whitehead sitting in 11th. To his outside, Mike Tellier, Julian Tesoro in 13th, Sam Kohlhaas 14th, Trey Whitehead 15th, last week's winner sitting there at 15th, and then Drew Eisman in 16th, Steven Leschinski in 17th. I think I said that right. Don't know. If I didn't, I apologize. And then 18th, we got Ryan Sizemore to his outside, or I'm sorry, 19th next row inside Noah Owens, Garrett Gleason in 20th, and rounding out the tail end will be Jason Chu. I want to point out, though, Adam Pettit getting his pole tonight. He has not had some great luck the last few weeks. He was really strong there for numerous weeks in a row, but his last 2, 3, maybe even 4 races, kind of had some struggles, bad luck. So I'm sure he's happy to be up on this front row and going to be looking to take command and lead to start this race.
Well, it looks like a new paint scheme as well for the 17 of Adam Pettit. Maybe he's hoping that'll give him some good luck here at the Monster Mile. Of course, he has, I believe it's the Volvo Ford starting to his outside in second place. That's Matt Donnelly. iRacing pace car getting ready to head down pit road, though, and we are going to go green flag racing once again. It's been 2 weeks since we've done it here on a Thursday night on the World Racing Network, but there goes the pace car, the field in the hands of Matt Donnelly as they head down the front straightaway. They are jumping out of the line. Green flag in the air, and we are racing. And a good start to this race for Donnelly as he's already going to, Pettit, as he's going to clear Donnelly for the race lead through 1 and 2.
Yeah, just taking it nice and easy on that restart, making sure he cleared. He got 41 of Donnelly, who's going to give him some pretty quick pressure right here. But look for these guys to sort themselves out. Nobody really wants to be double file right now. They want to get single file and get into a good rhythm. It's going to be a little different than the practice. You're going to have a lot more draft now, so you're going to get your timings down. And Pettit's just going to be looking to be out there, stay patient, and need some laps right now.
Yeah, and as we look through the field, it does look mostly single file here. You see in third place is Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal machine in that Star Spangled paint scheme there for Stan Hausman. Getting ready for week 1 of 2 of the Beer Street Journal Star Spangled Bash, which starts next week here. You'll want to tune in. Again, we'll give you a little more on that as the race goes on, but for now, it is Adam Pettit pacing the field like he does so well, but Matt Donnelly's keeping the pressure on driver of the number 17, and you see Donnelly just seems to hold the bottom better. I was going to say, but caution flag already in the air. That's an early one. We're going to go have to take a look at what brought out the first caution of the race.
Yeah, it looked like Justin White was struggling there. He was falling back a lot, went into the turn, and the 82 just bumped him and moved him up into the wall there. I'm not sure if Justin White had an issue or not, but I was watching him as we were talking. He was falling back quickly.
It just kind of looks like to me two drivers going for the same real estate headed into turn number 3. That inside line so important here at Dover, and we're going to go to more of an aerial shot, and I think you'll see Justin White just goes to turn down to the inside, but Kohlhaas tries to get up in there. You see Drew Eisman might have caught a piece of that one as well. But yeah, that is early contact for these drivers. Only on lap 5, already under caution.
Yeah, undoubtedly Justin is using his fast repair, so that's going to be a tough break for him. I'd be really curious to hear what was going on with him, though, because I was watching him fall to the field very quickly. He started up in 10th position, and he was back in like 17th or 18th before he even got bumped by the 82. So, not sure what was going on, if he was just trying to purposely go to the back, but either way, he's going to be working himself out of a deep hole now, not having another fast repair, and being in the back of the field. Got to be careful now.
And there is something to be said for just really taking it easy and saving your tires, because the track is so hard on tires. We got to look at a driver, though. Here you see him on screen. That's Noah Owens. He's going to get a Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award here out of this caution. I know it's early, but he maybe had a trouble getting gridded or something. Noah Owens going to get back on the lead lap now, thanks to our friends at Brookstone Animal Hospital. Go check them out as well in the video description. And it was kind of like you said, if he was kind of off pace, there's two different strategies, and I feel like we talk about this almost every week, Tyler. It's you either go hard out of the gate, or you take it a little slower and let some drivers get by you, knowing you might save the tires up and pass them again later. And at a track like Dover, where it really just seems to wear those tires more, it's really abrasive, the track gets hot, you're going to see a bigger difference between those two strategies of saving tire for the long run versus getting positions early, I think, tonight.
Yeah, but you got to be smart about it. You got to be able to manage the tire as well and not losing 6-7 positions in a couple laps, because you're not going to make that up by saving a little bit of tire, even at a track like this where it does kill the tires so much. So we'll see. I know some of these guys are going to be doing that, saving some and trying to hold off positions. So look for the other drivers who don't care to save in the beginning laps and push really hard, and that's when you're going to get issues. When one guy's pushing and one guy's trying to save, that can end up really bad for a lot of people.
Yeah, and we see that all the time, and it comes out even more at a short track like Dover. I guess, yeah, it's 1 mile. I think we can call this a short track safely. Some people would come at me for that, but yeah, it just comes out even more when you have to be so aggressive for that track position, or getting that line here at a track where the inside lane really dominates. And it's something we're going to see all night long, and I don't want to go out too far on a limb, but I feel like that's not the first time we're going to see a caution tonight for an incident like that. But pace car lights are back off, and we're going to get the Leather Repair Company 150 here back under green flag very shortly.
Yeah, definitely not going to be the only caution of the night. You're definitely going to see some people push hard, drive some of these corners, just not being road limit. There's going to be an innocent bystander sitting in front of them. So look for that to happen, and hopefully we get some more green flag laps this time, but you never know at a track like Dover.
Well, I think in that one, the innocent bystander of that wreck was, I believe, Drew Eisman in the 77 machine, not to be confused with Doug Neal in the 77, which I just clicked on. iRacing is scoring him as the 771. He got some decent front end damage from that one I saw. So keep an eye on that as well for Eisman. But pace car headed down back down pit road now, and we're going to go back under green flag here at Dover. Adam Pettit once again going to lead the field. There's the green flag in the air. Early jump for Pettit, and he's going to get well clear of second place. Matt Donnelly, who's having to deal with Stan Hausman.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but he got about a 5-car jump there. We'll be interested to see if maybe that ain't viewed for a penalty. I didn't see if anything he did wrong, but you don't typically see somebody get out to a 5-car length lead going into turn 1 on a restart. But as for now, you got Stan Hausman sitting in second, Matt Donnelly third. Martin Toot just got up into the wall right there coming out of turn 4, so definitely want to keep an eye on him, see if that's going to hurt the handling of his car and all. But they very, very quickly got single files. We'll see how long they stay that way.
Yeah, I don't expect they'll stay single file for too long. Somebody's going to want to get racy somewhere in this field. But I think in the NSRA, the rule is once the pace car goes down, you can go wherever you want to go. Now, I think iRacing has introduced some restart zone rules. I don't know if that's in effect here tonight at Dover. I'm not as up in the knowledge with iRacing lately as I should be as a broadcaster, but I know that traditionally in the NSRA, as long as that pace car's down, you can go when you want, and as long as you don't change your lane before the start finish, which I don't think Adam Pettit did, you're all good to go. I think he just caught the 41 sleeping, and you see Matt Donnelly slip back to third place on this restart. Stan Hausman got around him in the Beer Street Journal machine, but again, Donnelly giving the fight to the car in front of him, except this time it's Stan Hausman.
Yeah, Donnelly's definitely doing well there with Hausman. That's Hausman passes him for a second. I could be mistaken, but I haven't seen Stan Hausman running up front too much, so I'm sure he's very happy to see himself up there tonight. Another person I've been keeping an eye on is Trey Whitehead, who's fastest in practice, but did not qualify well. He has worked his way up to 9th right now, last week's winner at Talladega, so he's going to look to continue to move on up as he starts to set his sight on Ira Kohlhaas sitting there in the mountain machine in 8th place.
Yeah, looking at Stan Hausman here, taking a look at his stats from the season, he has 2 top 5s so far this season in 6 starts. That's not bad. 3 top 10s, so half the time he's finished in the top 10. He comes into tonight as well with 6 laps led, and a best finish of the season was second place. That came at Daytona. If you've been with us all season and remember all the way back when he lost in a nail-biter to Mike Tellier in the 47, who is running back in 12th right now, the Hello Kitty car, stuck back outside the top 10 fighting with Josh Sobel. So again, Mike Tellier, another driver, very good on short tracks, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. But Pettit continues to do what he does best, which is just control the pace and extend that lead up front.
Yeah, Matt Donnelly just made the pass on Stan Hausman there for second place, so he's now half a second back on Adam Pettit. He made that pass pretty easy too. I don't think Stan tried to put up much of a fight, understanding he didn't want to lose any more time and make sure he's managing those tires. So you got Donnelly up to second, looking to track down Pettit and make this interesting.
And we'll take a look back now on the World Racing Network replay at the pass Matt Donnelly made. You just see him jump up to the inside into turn 3. Stan Hausman goes up high, says, okay, you've got the run, just go ahead and take second place, because again, it's very early and these drivers don't want to put themselves in a dangerous position this early. They don't want to be that second caution of the night, because damage at this point in the race really could be detrimental to you winning in about 125 laps from now. That's a long way to go.
Yeah, it's definitely a long way to go. It's all about being patient here and just pacing yourself throughout the race. This is a rhythm track, more than most tracks that are going to be on your schedule. If you're not hitting your marks lap after lap on this track, you're going to lose a ton of time and not really be able to save it much. If you're missing your marks like that, that means you're killing the tires with this aggressive, concrete that we talked about earlier, and you got to get your head in the right mindset and just focus on your points. Don't watch your rearview mirror. Don't worry about the guy in front of you. Just hit your marks. If you can do that, you're going to find yourself in a pretty good position.
Yeah, it's just about keeping that car clean and keeping the track position. You're exactly right. Dover is not that hard to be fast if you manage the race well. You can get yourself up front here if you just run a clean race. Because I'm speaking from experience back when I was a driver here in the National Sim Racing Association. I know there were races I had a good car that maybe could have won the race, but I just got too aggressive. I got racing with guys, burn off my tires, even I think got up into the wall a little bit. We were racing so hard. It's just you can't be doing that, especially this early in the race. You have to pace yourself here and make sure not to overdrive it and cost yourself that opportunity later. You hit it exactly right. Fastest car on the track right now is Martin Plute in the number 4 machine, shifting it in another direction. He started in 4th, is running 4th, and the number 4 machine looking really fast right now, trying to run down Stan Hausman here for 3rd.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on Julian Tesoro and Trey Whitehead. They're sitting back here in 6th, and now Trey has made the pass for 7th. Trey's moved from 15th to 7th, and he's been doing it pretty methodically, just consistently, cleanly. He hasn't really had any long battles that he's had to deal with to kill his tires. He's doing a really good job at moving up through this field right now. Yeah, I know he'd love to go back-to-back, especially after having that week off to celebrate from Talladega. So watch for him and Tesoro to, keep moving their way up through this field to see what they can do with this.
Trey Whitehead comes into this race with so much momentum. First career win 2 weeks ago at Talladega, because we had an off week last week again. There's no better way to come into a race than having just won one. A momentum does a lot here in sim racing and in racing in real life, Tyler. I know when you think that you can win, or you know that you can, that does a lot for your on-track performance, and I think we're seeing that from Trey tonight. Started 15th, already up to 7th, and last lap, he was the fastest car on track.
Well, it just speaks for your confidence. So when you get that win out of the way, it's a weight off your shoulders. I can speak from experience. And you can go out, especially the next couple weeks, knowing, hey, I'm locked into the playoffs, I got nothing to lose. Now I know I can do it against these guys. And it just gives you, less stress and more confidence, which is a great combination going into, especially a track like this that requires a lot of skill. And he's just going to drive the wheels off. He knows he has nothing to lose now, and he knows he needs to be one of the drivers that are respected on track as being capable of winning.
And he has that one in the win column. Once you get that first one, more come a lot easier. We're looking at a battle now for the 13th position. This is a really good one here between Ryan Sizemore, Garrett Gleason, Bryce Hunter, and I believe Steven Lachensky also trying to work his way up into this one in the Monster Jam car. But Ryan Sizemore here, he's been getting a lot of pressure. Right now it's from Bryce Hunter. Garrett Gleason's been all over him, and you see Hunter just slide up on exit to take that position. That's an aggressive move there to just slide up on exit, because at Dover that exit comes up so fast, and if you just get a little too high out of the groove, you're straight into the wall. I found it's one of the scariest places just with corner exit, because it's so unique in that way.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot either. If you hit that wall, you're going to have some pretty significant damage. It sneaks up on you is the problem. Is you think you're not going to hit it, and then by the time you realize you are going to hit it, you're already full throttle, and it's too late. There's nothing you can do to stop from hitting that wall. And when it grabs you. It does pretty heavy damage to the right side of the cars. You're pretty much killed from that point on unless you use your faster mirror. So you definitely got to be patient, got to be careful. Make sure you're making these passes without overdriving the car on corner exit.
Yeah, and these drivers, they continue to race really hard. They've got a lap down Justin White now in the mix. Steven Lachensky about lost it down the back straightaway. So we looked up front at drivers like Adam Pettit, really taking it easy. Matt Donnelly kind of just settling in, running their race, not fighting too hard. And then you have back here around the 13th to 17th place cars on track. They're racing really hard, so it's a different mindset back in the field, because they know they need that track position now if they want to get up toward the top 10. And they're just probably going to continue to fight for a while. As we check now back in on the race leader, Adam Pettit. He's extended his lead to about 1 second over Matt Donnelly out front. Stan Hausman also starting to pull a little gap now over Martin Plute in fourth. That gap at about half a second still, but stands running better lap times now compared to Martin, who was faster than him that last time by. The field's starting to get spread out just a little bit here as we're getting to that point in the run where I think we're going to start to see who saved those tires better than everyone else.
Well, and the person that refused to have saved it better than everyone else is Trey Whitehead. He is now caught Tesoro and Nathan Maurer in 6th and 5th place, and he did have quite a gap after he had passed Kohlhaas about 8 or so laps ago. So he's tracked these guys down. He's looking to pass both of them, get himself in the top 5. Car looks good. He's hooking the bottom better than the 2 in front of him. He's really able to roll through the middle, and it's really helping him on the corner exit. Car right there, he really was able to pull up on the 92 at Tesoro. So he's just got to keep pushing like he is without killing the tires and making smart passes. You don't want to get side by side for too long there. And he's going to look to keep making his way up through and hopefully see himself in the top 5 in the next 5 or 10 laps.
Yeah, he's having a great run so far, and like you said last time we checked in on him, that there was a ways to go before he caught these drivers, and he's now really putting pressure on Julian Tesoro. I'd expect to see a pass here in the next couple of laps here. I think Whitehead actually does have the run up the inside. Can he stick it on corner exit? Almost contact. They might have touched corners just a little bit, but they keep it straight. That was a scary moment, but again, that's exactly what we were talking about. The danger of corner exit here just comes up so fast. And oh, you see the 92 get caught off. He got lucky the 33 was not underneath of him there, because there could have been there's a couple times they could have wrecked there, Tyler.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose your battles. Now's not the time at all to be pushing as hard there as Tesoro was trying to hold off that spot. He knew Whitehead was faster. Probably would have been better to let him go earlier. They definitely touched quarter panels on that backstretch, and that could have been catastrophic. It does not take a lot to hook one of these cars around, and like I was saying at the start of the race, you get sideways here, you can pretty much end your night because you're going to play ping pong off those walls, and there's nothing you can do about it. But when Whitehead did get that run down low, we saw Tesoro kind of slide up the track, and he almost caught that outside wall. He had to lift heavy coming out of the turn, make sure he didn't hit it, which is a smart move by him. Just accept it, give up the spot, and save your car to battle another day, because 33 is on the move right now, and you don't want any of that mess right now. Only 37 laps into the race.
Yeah, and all that kind of allowed Nate Maurer to scoot away a little bit. He wasn't too far in front of Tesoro when Whitehead and Tesoro started battling, but he's been able to drive away about a second from Trey Whitehead now, and Nate Maurer's another one who's consistently putting down some of the fastest lap times we're seeing on track. Of course, he's running in 5th, so you would expect to see these drivers being the fastest on track, but Maurer's having another really good run here. We've seen a lot of consistency from Nate Maurer. He comes into tonight 3rd in points. He does have a win on the season as well. If you remember going back to Iowa, that's where Nate Maurer picked up a win, another short track. So he's shown a lot of speed all through the season, but especially on the short tracks, the 971 really seems to perform.
Yeah, anytime you're sitting in the top 5, you know you're having a good race, and it's a track that you have a chance to win at. We'll see what he's able to do here. He's 3.7 back of our leader, Adam Pettit, who is just smooth sailing away from the rest of the field. He's now got a 2-second lead on Matt Donnelly and a 2.5-second lead on Stan Housen in 3rd. Looks like he is catching a little bit of lap traffic, but nothing too crazy. He's just riding along, getting ready probably pretty soon here for some green flag pit stops, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably we're getting toward that point in the run. We're on lap 41, and here tonight at Dover, these drivers are going to have 3 sets of tires in the pits and 75% fuel loads here in the Leather Repair Company 150. And speaking of the Leather Repair Company, they're on the rear bumper of Adam Pettit, which is a good reminder to check out today's race sponsor, the Leather Repair Company. I've got a little information about them here to share with you all. Leather Repair Company is a company based out of the UK that Anything EC is currently the only distributor of in the United States. They have some of the best leather products, from protection cream, softening cream, leather cleaner, fillers, and tons more. So make sure to go check out the Leather Company In the video description, there's a link to the website to see all the products they have that could fit your needs. Of course, you can also find them with Anything EC, who we usually see on the hood of Adam Pettit, and sponsored a couple races this season. So again, it's great to have these sponsors on board here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. We couldn't do it without them all. Of course, Adam Pettit trying to do everything he can to put the race sponsor in victory lane here tonight. And he's doing a really good job of it so far, like we mentioned.
Yeah, he definitely is. Whatever he's doing, he's got it figured out. He's now almost a 3-second lead, so almost gained a whole second in those last 5 laps there. So I don't know if he saved his tires or if he's just running a more consistent line, but he's really pulling away from the field right now. As I look back, it does look like the 33 of Trey Whitehead is hot back up to the back end of Nathan Maurer. So look for that battle for 5th and really for 4th, as Martin Clute has kind of fallen back to these two as well. We're going to have ourselves a good battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th here in the next couple laps.
This is just incredible speed we're seeing out of Trey Whitehead. He is running down some of the fastest cars on the racetrack, so hats off to him. He really wants to get 2 in a row, which is not an easy feat to do here whatsoever. But like you said, that 33 on rails, he's caught 5th and 4th place right here. Martin Clute and Nate Maurer, and already putting pressure on the back bumper of the 971. Out in the chat, we've got a lot of people here that have been with us tonight. Stay Tuned Sports saying, what's up, everyone? Not much Stay Tuned Sports, just hanging out watching a race like we always do here on Thursday nights at the World Racing Network. TJ Styles out in the chat, Nicole Weghorst, Sean Kosher, Sarah Mars, also all out in the chat. And we talked with Triple Trey and Martin Clute earlier as well. Thank you all for tuning in to the race tonight at about the 1/3 race distance so far, and we're definitely seeing a good one here. As the field, there's always, again, there's been a battle somewhere for us to look at on track. That's something that I've really been happy with the NSRA Beer Street Journal Grand National Series with, as they give us plenty of racing to watch here. As we have our first car down pit road, Jason Shue in the 3 machine. Down pit road, a driver we've seen play a lot of pit strategy this season.
Yeah, he seems to be struggling too. I saw right before he got down to the pits, he was down on the apron. He's 3 laps down. Looks like he's going to go a little bit more, so I'm not sure what's going on with that car tonight, but probably a night to forget for him. Maybe he can catch some cautions here and get himself back on the lead lap, but it's definitely going to be an uphill climb right now. As I'm looking, the battle for second is heating up. We have Matt Donnelly sitting 3.6 back of Adam Pettit, and Stan Hausman has got within 0.2 the previous lap to his rear bumper. So we saw earlier in the run Stan get passed by Donnelly, and now maybe Stan has saved those tires a little better and he's looking to reclaim that second spot.
Yeah, and right back behind him as well for 4th place, Nate Maurer gets around Martin Clute. So the 4 machine, who did start 4th, was running 4th all race, now down from 4th to 5th, make it 6th, as the 33 of Trey Whitehead going to follow Nate Maurer through. So Martin Clute losing a handful of spots there, and these 3 have been going at it for a while here. Of course, Martin Clute not giving up in that 4 machine, but the 33 and the 971 both seem very good right now. Not that Clute isn't. It just seems like he's driven the tires off just a little bit more, and you see him catch a little of the apron there as well. So
that's so impressive about this 33 car is his ability to drive the field without losing his tires. He is just consistently running some of the fastest lap times, and it's not hurting him on the long run. He just keeps mowing down through this field. Flowing methodically, I'll give him that, but still getting through, and he's making these passes on these guys who have been up front the whole race while he had to start back in 15th.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I mean, 15th to 5th in one run is really good, especially at a track like Dover, where as soon as the tires fall off, it's so hard to make passes. And 15th to 4th now, as he just got around the 971 of Nate Maurer on that lap. So move Trey Whitehead now up into the 4th position. Last week's race winner trying to make a statement here. 2 weeks ago's race winner, I should say. The last race winner we have here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Trying to make a statement tonight and he's certainly done it here on the opening run as we're past the 1/3 race distance now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing I'm going to watch from the 33 is if he can run down Stanhouse, because you got the top 3 guys up there. Every time he's at a gap like he has right now, he's been able to track them down rather quickly. So he's sitting about 1 second back of Stan. It already does look like he has caught him a little bit, but it'll be really interesting. I know we're getting ready to start some green flag pit stops here, so watch for some guys to short pit, try to make up a little bit of time. Fresh tires are a huge advantage for anybody who takes the risk of short pitting. So maybe this would be a good time for the 33 to try some strategy. He's made up all this ground already. Get a short pit and close that gap from him to second place there, and he might be sitting real pretty to try to track down Pettit.
And the Hello Kitty car of Mike Tellier, the first down pit road here. Well, we actually had Josh Sobel, Stephen Lechetsky as well pit. Of course, we saw Jason Shu. So not the first down, but Mike Tellier is down. Of course, we talk about Trey Whitehead driving up through all these cars. He's still got to go up and pass the man with a 3.5 second lead, Adam Pettit, if he wants to go get 2 in a row. Pettit, as always, just seems to be doing so well here, managing the race. He's lost a little time over the last couple of laps, I think, to the rest of the field. But the last time by, fastest car on track. He's just managed to keep the pace that's just slightly better than everyone else. And they're going to have to do something here, especially on this pit cycle maybe, to close some time. I like the short pit strategy of Mike Tellier, but I think it was just a little too far back maybe to make it work, as we do have some more leaders taking to pit road. Martin Plute in the 4, Nate Maurer in the 971, Ira Kohlhaas pits from 8th as well. So a couple of drivers here making the early move. Noah Owens down pit road, so pit road starting to heat up now. Expect more takers here very soon.
Yeah, the 33's coming down right now out of 4th place. This is going to bode well for him with Stan Hausman and Donnelly. He had caught Stan down to 0.7 of a second, so even if it's just a 1-lap difference here, look for them to practically be side by side if Stan comes down next time around. As you see, Adam Pettit is also down pit road. This is going to shake everything up. This is a difficult pit road to get in. You're really going to struggle if you haven't practiced it in practice, because it's not an easy pit road to get in. You can lose a lot of time, and you got to be careful on the exit coming off of that apron where it merges up onto the track. The car likes to kick out a little bit, and you find yourself in some deep trouble coming out of turn 2 and come out of the pit. So be careful that you can't lose a bunch of time either, trying to be overcautious. So look for things to shake up now that this pit cycle is complete.
All my good producer skills were right, and you see Matt Donnelly on board with him going down to pit road. You see how sudden that pit is, and Stan Hausman also down pit road. That's just a little taste. It's so difficult because Dover has such high banking. You have to transition from very steep banking. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, probably around 20 degrees, all the way down to a flat surface on the apron and get down into the pits and not hit those barrels in the wall. It's not an easy thing to do whatsoever. These drivers in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series certainly do make it look very easy here, but it is going to be Adam Pettit, I believe, cycling back out as your race leader here as green flag stops mostly complete here.
Yeah, we still got Matt Donnelly, Stan Hausman, and Brock Whitehead who have yet to pit, which is really surprising because actually Brock is in the pits right now. Stan is coming in, or no, I'm sorry, he's coming off of the pits. And I believe Matt Donnelly actually did this come off now too. So now we're really going to see how they fared out, and if Pettit, I imagine Adam Pettit will be reclaiming the lead here, as now it does show that he is in the lead.
Yeah, Adam Pettit takes back the race lead. His gap now about 3.5 seconds back to second place Nate Maurer, who gained some spots here in the pit cycle, up 3. Trey Whitehead also gained some spots. He now runs 3rd. Martin Plute runs 4th. The big loser here, where all the spots are coming from, is the 41 of Matt Donnelly. Stayed out a little bit too long. Now runs 6th as Sam Kohlhaas down pit road in the 28. But look who gained a lot of spots during the pit cycle. The Hello Kitty car of Mike Tellier up into the top 5 now because of how early he pitted, and that shows you, Tyler, just how big an advantage these fresh tires are at a track like Dover.
Yeah, they definitely help out early in the run, but as this run goes on, if it stays green, he will probably start to lose some of these spots as the fall off is pretty quick and pretty dramatic on these cars. So he wouldn't be upset if he saw a caution in the next 20 laps or so to make that gamble of short pit and work. Matt Donnelly, he also stayed out a lot longer, the exact opposite of what Mike Tellier did. Donnelly will get stronger as this run goes on. He'll constantly have fresher tires, even if it is just a couple laps. That'll make a difference as this run goes on. So look for him to move up, and for Donnelly to move up, and Tellier to slide back if this run goes the long ways.
Well, Donnelly was fastest car on the last lap on track, and you see him already getting toward this battle between Martin Plute and Mike Tellier for the 4th position. Up for second. It's a little bit of a different picture here. Trey Whitehead about a second and a half behind Nate Maurer, who's about 5 seconds now behind race leader Adam Pettit, who really just kind of seems untouchable. He continues to put down some of the fastest laps, if not the fastest laps on the racetrack. Pettit doing a great job, and once again we find ourselves looking kind of at the battle for second place. Is there only 10 cars left on the lead lap at this point? That means a lot of people want that Brookstone Animal Hospital Lucky Dog Award. Should we get another caution? As we're approaching the halfway point, we've only had one. So I guess that doesn't make your odds great the more we get strung out.
Yeah, Nathan Maurer really did something right there. I think he was sitting like 4th or 5th before they came to the pits, if I'm correct. I'm not 100%, but he's made the jump and he's withstanding. You got Trey behind him in 3rd, who also gained 1 spot throughout the pit cycle, but he's actually losing quite a bit of ground to Adam. Adam is in a league of his own, obviously. He's able to run faster and apparently not abuse the tires, which is a huge advantage at a track like this. But Trey Whitehead just doesn't quite seem to have the speed match to Adam Pettit, which I thought he was going to be a little closer to him than he was, but he's definitely fallen off quite a bit now. Both 2nd and 3rd over 5 seconds back from our leader right now.
Now, if you want to look at the lap times, among your top 3, Trey Whitehead the last time was the fastest. Adam Pettit was 2nd fastest. Nate Maurer was 3rd fastest. But it was only a couple hundredths that separated all of them. About half a tenth of a second was the time difference. So they are all so close in time. That time it was really the opposite here. Nate Maurer was the fastest. Trey Whitehead was 2nd fastest. Adam Pettit 3rd fastest. So you just see how it's a give and take, and no one's really faster than the other, I guess. They're all giving it back and forth. This time by, again, we'll give it an update just for laughs and giggles here. Adam Pettit was the fastest. No, I take it back. Trey Whitehead was. That just updated. Then Adam Pettit, then Nate Maurer. So they keep going back and forth, but the issue for Nate Maurer and Trey Whitehead is when you're just giving and taking and barely gaining anything on race leader with 5.5 second lead, that takes a lot of big gains to break that lead down. And I know it's only halfway, but they've really got to start cutting in now if they want that chance without having to hope for a caution.
It's going to be difficult because all of them are fighting through some pretty heavy lap traffic right now. I imagine a lot of these cars getting lapped are going to fight Adam pretty hard, but once they get past Adam, they're going to let some of these other guys go. So maybe Nathan and Trey can use that to their advantage. Some of these lap cars moving out of the way a lot easier for them than the leader. But as we get deeper and deeper in this run, they're getting little gains lap after lap. That's not going to do it for you at this point. You're going to have to make some big risks and strategy calls if you want any chance of catching Adam Pettit if he's big green for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, and of course Adam Pettit comes into tonight still your points leader, looking to extend that lead even more over Philip Scott, who's not here tonight, who currently sits 2nd in points. So again, that's a huge opportunity for Adam Pettit to get some points. Nate Maurer sits 3rd in points, so he'll be gaining points on Philip as well. That's just another thing, is sometimes you have real world conflicts in sim racing and you can't be here, but like Philip Scott is tonight. We don't see that World Ninja League, I believe it is now, car out on track, and that's really going to hurt him in the points, as you've got the drivers he's racing with for the points lead running first and second.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be good for him sitting there in points. He has been a very strong car all season, though, so if he's able to make the remainder of the races, look for him to try to gain that back when he can. But I got to tell you, man, Adam Pettit, he is putting down some amazing lap times tonight. He has been, second fastest in practice, won the pole tonight, and he's just been gone. And we haven't seen that the last couple weeks from him, where even when he's qualified well, he struggled really early on, quickly, to many people's surprise. So I'm sure he's really enjoying the smooth sailing out front, reclaiming the dominance that we've seen him have many times this season.
Yeah, and we see it there in the head-to-head lap time comparison. He continues to stretch that gap over Nate Maurer, but I don't think Nate Maurer's as worried about losing time to Adam Pettit as he is of the charging Trey Whitehead, the driver in third place. You see him there. He is on screen in the rear view mirror of Nate Maurer, and you see Maurer goes way up the track. He's searching for grip somewhere to try and hold off this charging 33, who just, again, seems to be on a tear, especially the longer we go. That car just seems to have a fifth gear in it.
Yeah, he's definitely got a long-run car, because at the beginning of this pit cycle, he actually had lost a lot of time to both first and second place, and he's gained that back. As Nathan's fallen back, Trey's catching our leader, and he just, for whatever reason, he has a really good long-run car. He's able to really hook that bottom and not lose any tires. As you see now, Trey's going to pass Nathan. Nathan had nothing for him there. He just let him have it. I imagine Trey's thanking him there on the headset. And now we're going to see what Trey can do. He's got the long-run car for sure. Adam Pettit's going to have to continue to fight through this lap traffic, and maybe he's able to tick away some of this distance that he has. It looks like 6.3 seconds. To maybe get it close enough to make a strategy call here on this last pit cycle. See if he can't make this interesting. But regardless, starting 15th, working his way up to second with only one caution. It's been a very good day for Trey Whitehead at 33, and he wants more, though. He wants to get up there and compete with Adam.
Yeah, that's always what you want to do, is you want to go up and battle for the race lead. You don't want to be stuck battling for second here. You want to go win the race, and he's looking at having to run down 6.5 seconds on your race leader. That's a tall task, especially for a driver with the caliber that all these drivers really have in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. They're all very, very good, and when you have one tonight, it's Adam Pettit, good enough to run away 6 seconds by the halfway point at Dover. That's going to be really tough. We can't emphasize enough, but I mean, Trey White has been fast, so I think he definitely has the second best car, and if we got that caution, could give something to Adam Pettit. Of course, Nate Maurer isn't letting him run away either. Maurer continues to put on the pressure. Wants the second place position back, as again, Nate Maurer, experienced veteran here in the National Sim Racing Association, knows the value of track position, but I think Trey's just got the long run speed right now from what we've seen tonight.
They continue to stay close and work together. They might be able to utilize a little bit of draft and actually gain a little bit. The last 2 laps, they've gained 0.3 of a second on Adam Pettit. Adam's gotten to the point where the top 10, he's got 10th place right in front of him. He's going to have to really start fighting to put these guys a lap down. These aren't back-of-the-pack guys that he's trying to lap right now. These are top 10 drivers. They're not going to move over and just give it to him easily unless they have an issue with the car. So as Adam continues to knock these guys a lap down, it'll get harder and harder, take him more and more time. And Nathan Maurer, who actually just repassed for second, and Trey Whitehead can use that to their advantage to try to knock out some of this distance that they have from them in first place.
Yeah, Nate Maurer just set it up really well. Got the run into 3, forced Trey to move up, or Trey moved up to the high line. I don't remember if it was forced or not. But either way, the 971 now back into second place, which I didn't expect. I think just said that I thought the 33 had the long run speed tonight, and that he was going to scoot away from Nate. That not looking like the case, though, as Nate Maurer really strong right now, and you can kind of see it in the way the 33 driving. He ran all the way up to the wall there, almost got into it. He's pushing right now in that 33 car, trying to get back around Nate, and that's exactly what Nate Maurer and Adam Pettit want, because that's just going to burn off that right front tire and make that car slower and slower on the long run.
Well, it looked like Nate had changed the lineup a little bit. He was running a lot higher on the track, getting that run on corner exits. Now that I say that, he's running more of the traditional low to middle length, but for a couple laps there, he did run higher, and that might have aided him getting that pass back. As far as Whitehead, though, he might have just, sometimes you get, to following people, and you're just watching their rear bumper, and you're a lot faster, but once you get past them, you don't have that car to follow anymore, and you mess up on your timings a little bit, and next thing you know, they're right back in front of you. So maybe that's what happened there with Trey. They're continuing to lose a little bit of time each lap to Adam Pettit now. So that's definitely not what they want to see. It's really just a car battle of second. Other than that, we can move a little farther back in the field and give these guys some loves. We got Stan Hausman in fifth place, battling with Martin Flute right now, side by side. That's a good battle there for fifth. Julian Tesoro not far behind them, watching this battle go on.
Yeah, Stan Hausman again having a great run here tonight. So is Martin Plute. We love seeing the race sponsors or the series sponsors get up here and fight for wins. And of course, you don't have a bigger series sponsor than Beer Street Journal. It is the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series after all. Stan Hausman rocking a great paint scheme here tonight. Of course, you're going to see a lot more like that in the next 2 weeks here on the World Racing Network, because it will be the Beer Street Journal Star Spangled Bash next week at Texas, and in 2 weeks at USA International Speedway, which I am really looking forward to both those races, Tyler, especially USA, because that's not a track we see these cars go to really that often, so it should present some really interesting short track racing. It's kind of a Martinsville-y type track. It should be a lot of fun, but you're going to be seeing patriotic paint schemes on a lot of these race cars. So if you want to see more cars like Stan Hausman's, definitely, come tune in on the World Racing Network. It'll be a ton of fun.
Yeah, they'll definitely enjoy that for sure. Absolutely going to see some great paint schemes. But we are, I imagine, we're about 20 laps away from the next round of pit stops, I believe. So we're getting these guys that are getting farther and farther spread out. Adam Pettit, like we said before, he's in a league of his own. I don't think there's much anybody can do to compete with him other than hope they catch a caution or he speeds down pit road or something. So what kind of strategy do you think is running through the mind for the rest of these guys here in the top five as far as trying to jump some positions? You've got second, third, and fourth who are all over each other. Trey Whitehead is actually just falling back and forth. Matt Donnelly moving up to third as he was one of the last people to hit on that last pit cycle. But what do you think some of these guys can do here to try to jump themselves some positions and maybe get themselves in the spot to compete with Pettit?
It's really difficult at this point when you're 7 seconds behind him. Normally you would say just short pit him and get the spots in pit road. I know that's how I got a win here at Dover in my iRacing career. I just short pit the leader and then held him off there on the longer run. But when you're 7 seconds behind, that kind of takes away that strategy, because he could wait to pit a couple laps and still come out in front of you, because it's about 2 or 3 seconds you gain on tires here, but he could still wait a lap or two, so you can't really short pit him. You could really throw out the gamble and take 2 tires. Who knows how that works? It always reacts differently, the car does. Or, do you think maybe these drivers like Nate Maurer, like Trey Whitehead, are going to be content racing for second at this point? It's actually, look who's up here, Tyler. It's Matt Donnelly, who's passed Trey Whitehead for third.
Yeah, Donnelly was the last one to pit on that last cycle, so he's got the freshest tires. I wouldn't say they're fresh, but he's got the tires with the best percentages probably left on them. So it's not too much of a surprise now to see him moving up there. But honestly, I do think they're all racing for second place right now. When a guy like Pettit gets that big of a lead, you don't really anticipate him making any mistakes. At least I wouldn't. And unless you catch a caution, you can consider that position lost. All of these guys right now, other than Pettit, are wanting caution, but you can't count on that. Even at a track like Dover, when you get a green flag run this long, you know people really got it figured out, and they're being smart, they're being safe. Unless you see somebody really get into it with an issue on pit road, you're probably going to see this thing go green the rest of the way. So I do think that, you know, Nathan Maurer, Matt Donnelly, Trey Whitehead, other than hoping for a caution, they are battling for second place, knowing that that's really their only option right now.
I agree. At this point, I would kind of just look at maybe what Nate Maurer's doing, maybe try and pit a lap before Nate does, because that could give you the advantage. He might not be able to pass you if you do a good enough job saving those tires. Like you said, I really would just base it off what Nate does, because I think at this point you need something to happen to the 17, be it a caution or an incident with a lap car, really to reel that gap back in, because we've seen him just continue to extend it all run long. He has not slowed up at all. Now he's a couple tenths of a second faster than everyone else. So I think the 17 at this point just kind of running a race of his own here. But just to, again, to put it into perspective, they're running about mid 25 second laps on really fresh tires. They can run mid to high 23 second lap time. So there's about a 2-second time difference right now if you were to pit. So if you're Matt Donnelly and you short pit Nate Maurer 1 lap, you could come out with about a 1.5 second lead. That's how big the stakes are here on these green flag pit stops. Plus, Tyler, there's always a variable. You pit too early on a short track, you might get stuck laps down. Doug Neal going to be a taker here on pit road. He is 1 lap down at the moment, but he is running 9th. Was in position for the lucky dog. That now goes to the 31 of Brock Whitehead. And we'll see if any of the other leaders decide to join the Simbox Motorsports driver down pit road here shortly.
Yeah, Neal had just been lapped in a 9th place, so not too big of a shocker to see him pit there and try to jump the leader whenever the leader goes heads in pit. But you got to be careful about short pit too in a situation like this. We only have 8 cars on the lead lap, so if you short pit, make a mistake, or a caution comes out at the wrong time for you, that can put you in a really bad spot. With how many cars that have been lapped in the field tonight, especially how many are 2 laps down right now as they all are starting to pit. If you mess up on strategy or a caution falls at the wrong time, as we see Mike Tellier right in front of the leader get down and hit the inside wall, as sitting in 8th place right now. I'm sorry, 6 places. See the leader coming to pit road. I'll be curious to see how much damage Mike Tellier has there. But the leader's coming down, so this is really going to decide how everybody's going to come out. As I imagine the rest of the field's going to be down pretty quick to follow.
Yeah, the 47 just got a little bit high, like I think we've kind of talked about. Slightly out of the groove, got up into the wall. Luckily, didn't go around. Manages to keep it straight as now Adam Pettit has joined the rest of the race leaders down pit road. That leaves just the Hello Kitty car, Mike Tellier, and a handful of others who have yet to pit here. Tellier should inherit the race lead, I believe. Yes, he has it right now. Will he decide to pit, or will he stay out and grab a bonus point here, which they do get for leading laps? Remember, that is sometimes why we see drivers stretch it. The 47 will stay out. Him and Brock Whitehead, the 2 drivers, I believe, who have yet to make a pit stop. That is correct. Only a few other drivers haven't stopped yet. Garrett Gleason, well, there goes Garrett right now down pit road. He was 1 lap down as well. Justin White has yet to pit from 12th. Noah Owens, who got the first Brookstone Animal Lucky Dog award, the only one we've given out so far tonight, he has yet to pit. Now we're looking really deep back into the field, because most of your leaders have pitted again, with the exception of Mike Tellier and Brock Whitehead, who are still staying out.
Yeah, and Tellier really needs people up to 33 had to check up big time in order to not wreck the 47, as the speed difference is pretty insane, as you can imagine. Everybody else being on fresher tires, him on 40, 50 lap tires. That's never a good feel, and regardless of if you're the leader, he does not feel like the leader. So look for him to be coming down pit road here pretty quick, as he's going to lose a ton of time. Oh, he's down pit road now. He's definitely going to lose a lot of time, though, waiting how long he waited to pit.
Yeah, and he locked those tires up really good, too, getting down pit road. Did the 47 of Mike Tellier, but he is down, having made his pit stop. That leaves Brock Whitehead, the only driver remaining who has yet to make the pit stop of the leaders here. And you see him now down on the apron, coming down pit road, and that let Adam Pettit get right by. Adam Pettit assumes the race lead like none of that ever happened. And the 17 back off with a 6-second lead over Nate Maurer. In third will be the 41 of Matt Donnelly, who held off Trey Whitehead. They had a good battle headed down pit road to Matt Donnelly and Trey Whitehead. They were side by side down pit road, and I believe, and here again, they're really close on track. Just about a half a second separates these two cars.
Yeah, they're definitely looking really good. The one person who seemed to gain a little bit of ground throughout that whole cycle was Nathan Maurer. Now, and as soon as I say that, it dropped about 3/4 of a second there on that last lap. So he's actually back to 6.5 back, and then Matt Donnelly 7.9. So again, Pettit, he's in a league of his own. He knows he just needs to smooth sailing. I believe they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. So barring a caution, this race will probably be in the bag for Pettit.
I think they are good to the end from here on fuel. I think they've been pitting about at the third race distances. I think they split it up into thirds here tonight. They pitted past lap 100, so they should definitely be good on fuel from here. And I believe most of these drivers, with the exception of the few who pitted on that very first caution we got on lap 5, still have an extra set of tires in the pits. Were something to happen here that brought out a caution in the late stages of the Leather Repair Company 150. But I think from here on out, Adam Pettit just hoping to keep it clean through lap traffic, because he is, again, 7.5 now, second gap over Nate Maurer. That's a comfortable lead. He's got a lot of time to give away if he needs to.
Yeah, he's definitely got no reason to push really hard. He should just be in cruise control mode, making sure that he saves these tires. You know, if you get a weird caution at the end of this race and you're not sure on pitting or not, if you're saving them now, then you might be all right with staying out. But with only having 8 cars on the lead lap, I imagine if any caution come out, all the lead lap cars are going to come down pit road knowing there's not a ton of track position to lose. But boy, has he played his cards right. We haven't seen him dominate in recent weeks anything like he's doing tonight. So he's regaining his status and putting a stamp on making sure everybody knows he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think Adam Pettit, coming into tonight, he is looking to be the first driver to win 3 races of the season here. Only Philip Scott has won 2 along with Pettit. And we have here, coming into race, or through 9 races, I should say, I was also wrong, Jason Gracias has won 2. We have 5 different winners this season, I believe, if my quick count was correct. I'm not sure that math adds up, but something like that. 5 or 6 race winners in 9 races. That's a lot of drivers who are contending here for wins, but Adam Pettit just seems to rise above it sometimes. And again here tonight, looking to win his 3rd race of the season. And again, we're getting to that point in the middle of the regular season where we're starting to look ahead to the playoffs. They are less than 10 races away now here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. He's looking to make a mark before he gets into there, as are a lot of other drivers here in this field tonight.
Well, he's definitely one of the favorites. There's no denying that. As we see, the 88 had a big moment there in front of our leader, Adam Pettit. Not sure exactly what happened, but Pettit had a check up. 88 almost went up into the wall. So that's definitely not a moment you want to see as you're the leader. I mean, thankfully you got an 8.6 second lead. You can definitely play it safe, but he wants to see nothing but green flag on every lap until he hits that white flag from here on out. I'm just impressed with his pace. I mean, he's on these short runs, he's able to gain so much, but he doesn't lose it on the back end of the run. So it's not like he's killing the tires at the beginning of these runs to gain a second or two. he's just got this track figured out better than anybody else, clearly.
Yeah, he's just doing a great job, and again, he's extended it out about a second since the last time we looked at the gap up between first and second, so just a phenomenal job by Adam Pettit. Let's look at that battle for the second position. Nate Maurer holds it pretty comfortably. He's just under a second in front of third place Matt Donnelly, who is getting a lot of pressure from Trey Whitehead, and if you were Maurer in second, Matt Donnelly and Trey Whitehead battling for the third position is exactly what you want to see. But that 41 of Donnelly's just done a great job maintaining the gap and not really giving Whitehead much to bite at back there in fourth.
Yeah, he definitely said, well, he kind of had a different strategy than the other guys, too, with some of the was staying out longer than anybody else in that first run before he pit. So he's definitely got to feel good about getting back up to third. And honestly, he's not too far back from Nathan Maurer. I didn't see when he decided to pit in comparison to others on the last stop, if he went with the same strategy as the stop before or not. But the car looks good. I mean, you can't complain about sitting in third. And if you discount Adam Pettit with how far of a lead he has, like, you almost feel like you're running in second at this point. So you got to feel good about that. Understand there's only about 25 laps to go, and try to bring her home with a solid top three is always a good day.
Yeah, and he really is running down Nate Maurer now. That gap down to about a second, and you see it continue to shrink there on the head-to-head here on the World Racing Network. He's doing a great job right now. I think I spoke too soon, or I gave him a little bit of a curse when I said that Maurer had a bit of a comfortable lead, because we are seeing that slip away just a little bit right now. As all three of these drivers here, Nate Maurer, Matt Donnelly, and Trey Whitehead, pitted at the exact same time, so they came into this run with equal tires, and it's just about saving them from here on out, as we are within 25 laps to go, almost 20 laps to go, so this race is really in the late stages now, and Adam Pettit, again, the gap to the lead is held about solid, but that's just what he needs to do because he has an 8-second lead right now.
Well, not only that, but he's about to put the Soro a lap down, which will only give us 6 cars on the lead lap. So even, I mean, you would think that Pettit would be playing it safe right now, but instead he's just in attack mode, knowing every car he laps down, if a late caution comes out, that's one more person he doesn't have to worry about, because they either stay out and take the waiver out and they're on older tires, or they got a pit and you're still a lap down minus your lucky dog candidate. So if he gets to the point where there's only 6 cars a lap down, even if a caution comes out with how fast he is on the short run, this is looking really, really good for him. He is just doing everything you could possibly imagine right so far throughout this race.
Yeah, Adam Pettit with Car Candy on the hood and Leather Repair Company on the rear bumper of that car. Really, he's doing a great job representing those sponsors again, as he has led almost all the laps. He's led all the laps we've had not in a green flag pit cycle, and the only exceptions to him not leading came because drivers stayed out around him. Back here again for second place, the battle stayed about the same. Nate Maurer holding him at about half a second, 3 to about 0.6 of a second, somewhere around there. But the battle here getting really good for fourth place is Trey Whitehead. You see him there looking up the inside of Matt Donnelly for third. This will make things interesting if Whitehead gets around Donnelly, which it looks like he's going to through 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's had a great long run car all night long. So now that he's moved himself up into the third spot, he's got about 0.9 of a second in Nathan Maurer with about 17 or so laps to go. So that's plenty of time if you can continue this long run speed like he's had the rest of the race prior to this. But you know, laps are ticking down. If you start pushing a little harder at this point, knowing you're not going to have a lot of time left, that can cause some errors and mistakes. But either way, sitting in third right now after winning the race 2 weeks ago, you know he's feeling good about that. But right now his eyes are just set on Nathan Maurer.
Yeah, and the battle for second is really what we're going to be looking at from here on out. And again, looking at Trey Whitehead here, he has the 1 win on the season, 2 top 5s coming into tonight. Before he won, his best finish was 5th at Iowa. He had a 5th, 6th, and 7th place finish, but other than that, Whitehead really kind of struggled to find consistency this season. He ran around the top 10 most of the season with that top 5 runs, but lately he's really found his stride, and it's been a while since he's finished outside of the top 10. So Trey Whitehead, a driver, really coming on as we get deeper into the season. And that's really exactly what you want to do. You want to start to get better through the middle of the season, so come playoff time, you're in better contention than someone who's maybe been good at the start of the season but then got a little comfortable and fell off. And Whitehead finds himself 5th in points, so he's having a great run of things right now.
Yeah, it's all about peaking at the right time, and it definitely seems like he's doing that right now as he's building up more and more consistency, finally breaking into that win column, and just doing better about running, as a front runner in each of these races where he's getting a lot of airtime. He's being noticed by a lot of these guys as he continues to run stronger and more consistent. Up front, we had Adam Pettit go ahead and pass Tesoro, put down to 6 cars on the lead lap. He was able to make that happen pretty easily. Now he sets his eyes on Martin 2. Not sure if he'll get there before the end of this race, but either way, what an incredible feat to get it early on caution. It's been green flagged the rest of the race. We only have 6 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's been a great race here tonight. Again, early caution for just 2 drivers racing. A little bit too hard for the track position in the early going. Just had it coming together, going for the same line. But other than that, it's been great, clean green flag racing, and they've been racing really hard as they always do in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. But they've put on a great show, and we've gotten some green flag laps in for most of the race, which is kind of what we've been treated to all season, Tyler. We've got 11 laps to go now. Of course, we say that a lot can happen in 11 laps. They're not out of the clear yet in terms of cautions.
Yeah, you're definitely, you're not wrong to say a lot can happen. You got people out here who might be really frustrated to stop cutting some slack to some of the other drivers. And you get that late caution, and it can change up everything. But even so, if I'm Adam Pettit with how I've driven tonight, I would feel confident no matter what happens at this point in the race, knowing he can likely take home the checker flag. But if you're Nathan Maurer, you're Trey Whitehead, you're Matt Donnelly, you're praying for that yellow flag just to give yourself a shot at maybe making an aggressive move or bump and run or something, because without that, this race is going to Pettit hands down.
Yeah, and speaking of those drivers, they are in a gaggle of cars that are racing for position and lap down cars as well. You see Trey Whitehead caught Justin White at the worst time right at corner exit. That's going to cost him some time. He had closed it down to a 0.2 of a second gap up to Nate Maurer. Right now it's back to half a second. I closed in looking at that battle like, okay, we've got things going on for second, and then they were in the middle of lap traffic, and that spread things back out again for these drivers. And you see Matt Donnelly running in 4th now, actually clipped the wall just a little bit there on exit, but he is going to keep it going, sandwiched in between Justin White and Ryan Sizemore. They are both laps down here tonight. I think the closest we could get to a battle here for second would be Trey Whitehead running down Nate Maurer, but they are still about half a second apart, and they're running out of time to do it. Trey really needs to start cutting into that gap now. And you have Nate Maurer, who caught Garrett Gleason at the perfect time through the center of the corner. And Trey Whitehead is going to have to adjust his line into 3 to have to get around the 7. And this is exactly what's losing that 33 time.
Yeah, he's definitely not catching traffic at the right time to help him out very much. He's falling back a little bit, not too bad. But he's running out of laps. They just crossed the line, 6 to go. Not sure that he is going to quite have enough. He doesn't have any more lap traffic to fight through right now, so that's good. He's still sitting about half a second back right now of Nathan Maurer. And even if you get to him at a track like this, it's not like you're just going to go around him easy peasy. So he's pushing hard. He definitely wants that second place finish here, but I'm not quite sure that he's going to be able to get there in time.
Yeah, definitely 5 laps to go this time. Nate Maurer chooses to take a bit of a higher line, though, through 1 and 2, looking for that run down the back straightaway here. We see that in real life at Dover, they tend to do that. In my experience, hasn't worked as well for me at Dover. But obviously, Nate Maurer feeling something different, giving it a shot. And you see the speed difference down that front straightaway. He definitely pulls away from the 33. But this is letting Trey Whitehead gain a little time through the corner. And you see Nate kind of correct that line a little bit more toward the bottom. Ran the middle instead. Because I think he realized he might have lost a little time moving up high.
Yeah, the 33 is pretty much there. He's within striking distance, especially if Nathan makes a small mistake and moves up the track again. But we only have 3 laps here to go now. About a 3-tenths of a second gap between the two of them. Trey's pushing really hard. You can see it in the car. He wants that second place finish. He's running the lower line in comparison to Nathan, and that's, like you said, giving Nathan a good run on the corner exit, and that might be just enough as we come down to 2 to go race tonight.
Yeah, 2 to go in this one for your race leader, Adam Pettit. We don't want to forget about him. He has just dominated this race up there in the front. He is taking the white flag now. I think we're going to keep our eye on this battle, though, for the second place position, because this one could get really good here. Coming to 1 lap to go if Trey Whitehead can find that run. He's just a little bit far back of Nate Maurer right now, though. He just needs to find something to help him get up there. Coming out of 4, here you see him, Adam Pettit, gonna take home the win in the Leather Repair Company 150 at Dover. And looking back again at the battle for second, it's gonna be Nate Maurer holding off Trey Whitehead to finish second, and Whitehead will come in third, and we're gonna get to talk to all 3 of those drivers as they finish on the podium. And again, Matt Donnelly 2 and 4. There's a very valiant effort from him as well here tonight.
Yeah, overall, a really good race for these top 3. Adam just completely dominated this race, starting from the pole, winning the race. It was a very good battle between Trey and Matt throughout the race there. Nathan getting that second place finish looked like some strategy really got him into there. He had been sitting in the top 5 most of the race, but up until that last run, he wasn't in second very often. So good job by him, and really, if you're in the top 6, you're the only ones who finish on the lead lap, so you should be patting yourself on the back.
Yeah, the leaders here tonight just put on a clinic, specifically Adam Pettit, but all of them too. Really just the pace was so fast here tonight. Like you said, almost lapped the whole of the top 5.
Not only that, but there was only 3 1 lap down. So from 10th on back was actually lapped twice. I don't know that I've ever seen that.
That's definitely, it just shows you how high the level of competition is here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. And I'm looking forward to getting to talk with some of these drivers here in our post-race interviews here, which I'm working to get us lined up on right now. So stick with us here, folks, as we're going to try and get to talk with some of your finishers here tonight, if I can find them. Here's Trey Whitehead in the 33. Trey Whitehead, Mitchell and Tyler are in the WRN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, it was a great run for you here tonight, here at Dover. I mean, you started 15th. You were coming off a win, drove up to 3rd. Just take us through the night, because your car looks so fast.
Yeah, with the track like Dover, I'm not afraid to say this, but I'm kind of not good at Dover, especially like any concrete track really. But yeah, we just wanted to make sure that I was saving the right front. I had some teammates having some issues with the right front all night, and thankfully we didn't have those issues. I thought our right front wear was pretty good, and yeah, just tried to keep up with them on the short run and make sure we were there and have the long run speed that I wanted, which I felt like we had. As you mentioned, we started 15th, and after that early caution, we kind of gained a few spots. I think we restarted like 11th or something, and we were able to drive up to 4th there, and then stayed around 3rd and 4th, 5th, like the rest of the race. So yeah, I just wanted to get that long run speed, and we finally able to build on that and get it. So
yeah, and you talked about wearing that right front. I know Dover traditionally is really aggressive on the tires, wears them out really quickly. How big a factor was that in the speed you had tonight, do you think that was down to your car just saved tires better here tonight than everyone else in the early going?
I noticed I was really the only one, on the short run, kind of running right along the apron. I noticed a lot of people were trying to like diamond it out, kind of put it in, let the car set, and then drive it off. As opposed to me, I would just kind of trail brake a little bit and then ease back into the throttle, and I wouldn't even be full throttle until I came completely out of the turn. So I think that definitely helped heat up the right front or the right rear a little bit so that I could still have some turn off, but it definitely saved the right front. And I felt like, coming in, that's the strategy I wanted to play. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I didn't want to run the same line and have the same tire wear. I felt like if I could find something a little bit better, then we could exploit that on the long run. And as you saw, we were able to do that. So, yeah, I think there was some drivers that were having some difficulty trying to save their right front. I think it was just basically the way they were driving it into the corner. We made some changes to that. We ran some practice, and we were able to get that down to down pat. So, yeah, just really proud of the effort I've put in this week, and was able to save the right front and have long run speed. So,
Yeah, and it was a great run for you. Again, you've been on a roll lately here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. Again, picked up a win in the last race at Talladega. Third place here tonight. Can you feel that momentum starting to build up, and do you think that's kind of contributing to some of the speed we're starting to see from you here?
yeah, honestly, with this only being my third top 10 of the season, or top 5, excuse me, of the season, I felt like our momentum started back at Darlington when we qualified really well. I believe we started third that race. Showed that we had speed early. We were actually keeping up with like Philip Scott and all them at the beginning. So being able to show that we have speed at a difficult track like Darlington definitely did help, and the win at Talladega certainly helped as well on the momentum side. But yeah, I really felt like this has kind of been building even before Talladega. I think Talladega is not necessarily the peak, but it helped push us up there. So hopefully we're starting to peak at the right time and get those really good finishes rattling off.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next race. We've got the Beer Street Journal Star Spangled Bash at Texas. Do you think Texas is a track you could keep that momentum going in?
Oh, absolutely. With the amount of laps that I've run at that track, just because of the fact that it's my home track, I live about maybe 45 minutes from there. We go to every race there. I'm always involved with everything Texas Motor Speedway in the sim and outside of it. So I definitely feel like we can have another strong race. I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage because I do I like the new layout more than I did the old one, just because it requires a little bit more skill and you had to save the tires a little more and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, like I said, it's my home track, so hopefully we can have another great run like we had tonight.
Well, we're really looking forward to watching you next week and see if you can keep this string of top fives going. But before we let you go, do you have anybody you want to shout out here while you're in the booth?
Yeah, absolutely. All the admins here at National Sim Racing Association, as well as the league sponsor Beer Street Journal. I can't thank them enough for allowing me to come in and help build my skill against some of. I would argue that these guys are like some of the best that I've seen. Obviously, besides pro series drivers, but yeah, I'm just very grateful to be able to come in here and hone my race skills in and be able to race against guys that are competitive week in and week out. And obviously the guys on the car over at Superior Concrete Products, my job. Be sure to visit concretefence.com if you want to check some of their stuff out. I personally make it so I can, like I said last week, I can assure the quality of everything is on point. So yeah, be sure to check them out over there. And Ryan Sizemore over at Sizemore Motorsports. We've been putting in a lot of work the last few weeks. And just can't thank them enough. And you guys obviously up in the booth at WRN, it's been awesome to go back and look back on the races and see what I maybe could have done differently and stuff like that. So yeah, appreciate all you guys' work.
Yeah, again, thank you for stopping by. Congratulations on the third place finish here tonight. And we are, again, looking forward to seeing you next week at the Beer Street Journal Star Spangled Bash at Texas.
Thank you.
All right, that was your third place finisher here tonight, Trey Whitehead. And again, Tyler, what a run it was for him coming off his first win of the season. Just continues to get better and better as the weeks go on. Let's see, we are lining up some things here behind the scenes. Give us just a moment, and we will be back with more interviews here on the World Racing Network. Please stick with us. All right, we're back here. Thanks for sticking with us on the World Racing Network. Time to talk to race winner Adam Pettit. I believe Tyler has caught up with him.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your win tonight. I was saying early in the race after you qualified on the pole that it seems like it's been a little bit of a struggle the recent weeks after dominating before that. So I know it must have felt good to get up there, qualify on the pole, and pretty much never look back from that point. You lapped all but 6 drivers in the field tonight, so I can't really highlight any single moment. That was pretty awesome for you. You dominated the whole race. Walk me through what it felt like and how tonight feels for you, man.
It definitely feels good to get back into the winner's circle. I missed a week, and then last week or 2 weeks ago, was a restrictor plate, and I don't care for those. I don't really understand how to drive those. So it was nice to be back at a normal track. Plus, Dover is my favorite track. I spend quite a bit of time here, just testing, practicing. Um, I hop into the car tomorrow, crank up the heat, crank up the tire or the track usage, and this is kind of where I go to practice. Because if you can drive the car tomorrow here and all that, you can pretty much drive anything anywhere. So that definitely helps to have thousands and thousands of laps at this place. And then in the Xfinity car, where you got to be patient, and that's what I noticed. Quite a few people tonight were just struggling with. They think they have to attack the track more than they actually have to. You just, kind of. I hate to say it, just kind of take it easy and just keep it out of that wall, which obviously is easier said than done. But if you do that, you'll typically come away with a top 5, top 10 in most leagues.
Well, you mentioned taking it easy is the key here, but I noticed that on the short run was actually your strongest point. You could gap a second, sometimes 2 seconds after a pit cycle, and then never really give it up. So I understand that taking it easy was the key, but was there anything else that you're able to really utilize on this track that you feel like other people struggle with?
I don't know. Brake bias is one. I know a lot of people love to stab that brake and really try to slow down the car. I tend to lift a little bit earlier, and I just kind of tap the brake just to set the nose, and then just try to be as smooth as I can with my wheel inputs. I try to diamond the track. That definitely helps, because as you're coming down on the exit of the turn, you don't have to then worry about the outside wall, as you're coming back up to elevation. So that's kind of another thing that I noticed, that a lot of guys struggled with tonight.
Well, yeah, I can't say you did anything wrong because you ran a flawless race. You had most of the field 2 laps or more down, which is something I haven't seen in a very long time, if ever. Next week we go to Texas. How do you feel about that track? You think you'll dominate like tonight?
It's it's tough to say. I'm not one to be overconfident and cocky. I've been on this service too long. There's a lot of people out here that may not be as strong at some places and maybe very strong at others. I know Nathan is good at a lot of places. He's definitely one to watch out for. Gracias, Philip Scott, Martin Plute, Matt Donnelly. Um, Tesaro's really good at a lot of places too. So, I just go in and try to do the best that I can. And if someone's better, I try to watch what they're doing in practice and learn from it.
Nothing wrong with that. Again, congratulations on tonight. Before we let you go tonight, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, definitely want to thank the leather repair company for sponsoring the race. I got the paints kind of screwed up, so I didn't put them on the car tonight. So I apologize to them. But again, thank them for sponsoring the race, and then my main sponsor, Anything EC. Again, head on over to anythingec.com. Use code Pettit15 to get 15% off your order. Mitchell and Tyler, you guys for doing a great broadcast. I love going back and watching them on Fridays at work. My two teammates, Stan and Martin tonight, they were they were a good help, and Justin for putting on a great series. I definitely appreciate it.
Well, sounds good, man, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, getting into your weekend, and we will see you next week at Texas.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that was race winner Adam Pettit, who certainly has the momentum going into his favor into next week's Beer Street Journal Star Spangled Bash at Texas. Gotta be viewed as one of the favorites every single week, Tyler. He's just so good every single time we go to the racetrack.
Yeah, they coined him Patient Pettit for a reason. He knows what he's doing out there on the racetrack, and he's definitely going to be one you're going to want to keep an eye out for the championship.
Yeah, certainly has to be one of the top contenders, if not the favorite here looking forward in the season. But let's give it a quick run through of the finishing order. Of course, we didn't get to talk to Nate Maurer. He had other things to attend to. We hope everything is okay for Nate. But anyway, is looking back at the finishing order for tonight's race. Of course, it was Adam Pettit picking up the win. 971 of Nate Maurer finished in second place, and Trey Whitehead finished third. Then it was Matt Donnelly in fourth. Stan Hausman finished in fifth. Martin Plute finished sixth. Julian Tesoro seventh. Ira Kohlhaas finished in eighth and won the race of the soda cars here tonight at Dover. Didn't really talk about that one. Then it was the 47 of Mike Tellier finishing in ninth. Doug Neal finished 10th, and Tyler, do you have him pulled up to take him through the rest of the field?
I am pulling it up right now. You finished off with 10th of Doug Neal. In 11th, we had Brock Whitehead. In 12th, we had Stephen Lachinsky. 13th, Justin White. 14th, Garrett Gleason. 15th, Ryan Sizemore. 16th, Noah Owens. 17th, Bryce Hunter. 18th, Sam Kohlhaas. 19th, Joshua Sobel. Rounding out the top 20 was Jason Shu, and finishing in 21st night was Drew Eisman.
A couple early retirements in this one for Josh Sobel, Jason Shu, and Drew Eisman. Didn't get all the laps in here tonight in the Leather Repair Company 150 at Dover. Again, we want to thank the Leather Repair Company, our race sponsor here tonight. Excuse me, for coming on board and sponsoring this race here. You can check them out in the video description to see all the products they offer. And again, all the regular series sponsors we have here in the Beer Street Journal Grand National Series. There are so many who help make Thursday night racing possible here on the World Racing Network every week. Beer Street Journal, of course, sponsors the series. Max Graphics, Stay Tuned Sports, Simbox, Brookstone Animal Hospital, Taz Racing Customs, J&R Craftworks, and Eclipse Photography all help make this possible every week, as do all of you out in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure if you enjoyed it to hit that like button and possibly subscribe if you want to see more racing. It helps us and the National Sim Racing Association out a lot. But before we go off the air for tonight, Tyler, do you have any closing thoughts on this one?
That was a long race. A track like this where you just constantly have to be hitting your marks, and it's like a rhythm track to have that long of a green flag run at the end. I'm sure these guys are ready for bed and get a good night's sleep, but it don't get any easier next week at Texas. All about saving tires there too, and the car gets harder and harder to handle throughout the run. So look for everybody to get ready for next week, and I can't wait for it.
Yep, next week again, the Beer Street Journal Star Spangled Bash at Texas. You won't want to miss it. Gonna have all the patriotic paint schemes celebrating the 4th of July for the next 2 Thursdays here on the World Racing Network. You won't want to miss that at all, but for all of us here at the World Racing Network, myself, Mitchell Adams, my co-host again, Tyler Belanger, here tonight. Want to thank you all for tuning in, as always, and we hope you stay safe, have fun, and we will see you next Thursday.